How is it going, guys? Slippy Jim here. Welcome to this week's Mystery Box Mondays, the series where I play a random game every Monday. This week, the game that I'll be playing is Battle vs. Chess, produced by Topware Interactive. This is pretty much a straight-off rip-off of a game that was around in the late 80s called Battle Chess, which was created by a different publisher called Interplay. And in fact, they sued this version of Battle vs. Chess because it was so similar to their game. In fact, now I don't believe you can buy this game in the States as a result of that lawsuit. So a bit of background there. But I used to play Battle Chess, the original game, way back in the day at a friend's place. So it's a pretty cool game. Trip down memory lane. For me, we're going to play the skirmish mode, which is classic chess. And I also am a big fan of chess, so hopefully I don't embarrass myself too much here. Alright, check out these 3D pieces here. They look pretty awesome. I really like the design of these. Pretty foxy looking queen there. And I'm playing black, so we're the evil side, I guess. And I might play the Atlakeen defense here. Move out my king's knight. And I'll kick things off here. I might play a little bit risky. Usually you would move up to d5, but instead I'll move up to e4. And at this point I'm going to do something that might seem stupid, but I'm going to take the pawn over here. And what that's going to do is put me at a material disadvantage, but he'll be forced to take me with his king because I'm forking his queen and his rook. So he's going to have a messed up pawn structure, and also his king's going to have to shuffle back into a more safe position, so he's going to waste a bit of time there. So I'm going to fianchetto my bishop down here as well, and hopefully we can castle behind that to have a really good setup. I like to keep my pawn structure nice and tidy for the late game. It really helps. When it comes to chess, there's basically four main factors you need to keep in mind to have a good game. One of those is force, which is basically your material advantage, the pieces and how valuable they are. So a rough calculation you can use to work out the relative values of the pieces. I'm just going to castle behind my bishop here, so it should be fairly safe back there for a while. Yeah, so basically the relative values of the pieces, the pawns are worth 1, knights and bishops are worth 3, rooks are worth 5, and the queen is worth 6. So you can sort of calculate, like at the moment he has my knight, which is 3, and I've only taken a pawn, which is 1. So he's ahead in terms of materials, but we made him waste some time. And time is the second factor. Basically the number of moves you have up your sleeve to develop your pieces and put yourself in a good position is also another factor to keep in mind. Let's just take out his pawn. The other factor is space, which is the territory controlled by the pieces. And normally you want to try and move your pieces to occupy the center of the board. But in this particular strategy I'm using, I'm doing it from a distance, like sniper style, if you like, from my bishops and stuff like that, which is a slightly different strategy. Okay, so he's taken my bishop, but that's fine. I actually knew he would do that. We're just going to take out his bishop with my pawn. Now that actually puts my rook in a really good position there, where it's controlling a long section of the board there in front of it. And we'll take out that pawn as well, so obviously he can take me with his bishop. Now the fourth and final factor you want to keep in mind if you want to play chess well is basically your pawn structure. And I like to keep a nice pawn structure where they're supporting each other, and they're all, you know, they're not isolated and stuff like that, which really helps if you get to end game. So here we go. This is the big moment right here. I'm going to move out my bishop. He's going to take my bishop. Gonna move my queen to take his bishop. Oh yeah, take that. Fire. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attack the pawn up there at b2. So you can see that his rook is basically trapped in that corner. If I take that pawn, he's going to lose that rook, basically whatever he does. So the only way he can guard against that is if he had moved his knight out of the way. Alright, there it is, guys. So he's got me in check, but this is basically a desperate move. At this point I can easily get out of check here just by simply moving my rook up one square, and you'll see his king is basically stuck there right next to the rook because he can't move out due to the rook, to my rook threatening that file. Okay, so he's basically begging me to exchange pieces. He wants me to exchange queens so he can lose his queen but take my queen because of his material advantage at this point. You can see right now he has about 13 points in terms of material compared to my 10. So definite advantage. But we're not going to do that because I'm in a really good position right here. In fact, at this point of the game, we're 2 moves away from checkmate no matter what he does. So I'm going to move my queen down, and then he's going to be forced to move his queen to block the attack to check the king. And then all I need to do at this point, guys, is simply swoop in, bit of queen on queen action, take out his queen. Here we go. At least she goes to heaven. I guess that's something. Checkmate! There it is. The forces of darkness have defeated the forces of light here. At least this time. The Queen adjusts herself there, and that is it, guys. That was Mystery Box Monday's Battle versus Chess. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.